Hello and welcome to Great Hang, the greatest hang that's ever hanged. I'm your hang, Tim McLaughlin, coming to you with your other hang, Myka Fox. Hello, Myka.
What's up, Tim?
How are you?
I'm fucking jazzed. It's impossible not to acknowledge.
We have a guest
today.
Right now. Myka, we have a guest. Would you like to introduce our guest?
Tim, no.
Okay.
You guys, this is maybe the inventor of podcasts before
What
it even
the
happened.
absolute fuck? John D. Podcast
John D.
himself?
Podcast is here. Host, inventor of Comical Radio, the very first comedy radio show / podcast in the world. Inventor of Rise of the Radio Show, the world's worst web series, world's worst and first
What's the worst?
web series.
It's definitely worse.
It's either get there first, be the best, or cheat. And it was get there first and be the worst. I like it.
Oh, I think there was a fair amount of cheating too. Rapscallion, Danny Lobell, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
You're going to have to bring
I
your
gotta
mic
say
a little
that
closer.
I'm really genuinely excited to be here.
Oh, good.
Which I think might be a first for one of your guests, because I've been watching the clips.
He's insulting us immediately, Tim, and that's my job.
What the fuck, Danny?
But I'm serious. I've been watching your clips on Instagram. I've never listened to a full show.
Thank you.
Right.
But I have watched probably every Instagram clip because I just love the dynamic that you guys have. First of all,
Not enough to actually open Spotify.
No,
No, not that much.
Or Apple Podcasts.
Or watch the whole thing on YouTube. If you
No.
guys are liking this by now, you can subscribe and press like. if
Yeah,
you're enjoying it.
subscribe, you fucking assholes.
I'm blown away that you guys don't have a bigger Instagram following for this thing because
Thank you.
the clips are so funny and well edited, and I don't have any motivation to blow smoke.
You were
here,
just
you know.
insulting the fuck out of me seconds ago.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what you're trying to.
well, it's
pull
sort of
here,
a compliment, but I'm saying like I have no.
Danny. The insult is that we're
There's
losers.
no reason
Yeah.
to kiss up here. There's nothing.
No clout to be gained.
You have nothing to give. But so this is all you know. This is genuine. You guys are really, really funny.
That's right.
And Myka has always had this great cutting wit and like this amazing way of attacking. And she found like the perfect person to attack, like on a consistent basis. Like, she really.
You've been watching this progress for like I've known you for like 15, 20 years, maybe.
But Tim started coming back harder with really good comebacks in the last year.
Well,
I'm like a stone he can sharpen on.
Here's the thing. I have good comebacks a lot of the time, but for a while, Myka was picking the clips. So there's clips where you don't see me have podcasts, or you don't see me have comebacks, is because Myka picked it, and I said, well, if Myka picks the clips, that's a clip we make, and it's always Myka being like, look at this fat ass idiot being a dumbass.
Yeah, but I say it all clever like.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I watch the clips and I'm like, man, what did Tim's parents think? Like that this is his.
They're so grateful.
They
love Myka.
It's unbelievable. They must hate you. Like
No.
Like
they just.
she just sits here and insults you every single day, and your parents are like, "This is great. I think he did great."
Well, my family's kind of mean. My mom's side of the family. My mom's side of the family is nice, but my dad's side of the family is kind of mean. So I'm just used to it, you know.
But here's the thing: there's so much love. You guys obviously love each other.
Oh,
like there's
with all of our hearts.
Man, you should see how much love.
It's true. I can't imagine. I didn't think Myka was capable of love. Like when
bullshit.
It is true. I never thought that. I thought
you just
were.
gotta see her in front of the cat.
I thought she was a bit reptilian, to be honest. Like when I knew her.
I know.
Like brilliant.
You would think this
funny,
was anti-Semitic,
but like a reptile, like cold-blooded, incapable of attachment or love. I remember you once told me that you had a hard time having friends. I don't think that was just
still true
to me. Like I think it was like a vulnerable moment.
That wasn't me just trying to like not answer your phone calls.
No, it wasn't one of those because I could tell the difference.
Because Danny will fucking call for any reason. This man texting came and went, and he was like, not for me.
Why did she not pick up the phone? That's the other thing. I'm like, sometimes I call her and she doesn't answer.
Yeah, she never.
And I'm like,
answer.
there's no way that a lot of people call her. Like, why is she avoiding one of the few people that
calls.
cares about
Danny,
her?
what are you calling people for? I gotta stand Myka on
I'm
this.
probably one of the only people that cares about Myka because she means something to me. She's like a big part of my life. Like, I spent a lot of time in a padded room with her. You know, like I really did. Like,
I love the woman, and I never call her.
Yeah, because you live here. I mean.
Well,
That's actually not
though-
even true. He stays down here in this basement and won't come up to tell me anything. He'll be like, Myka, look at this meme. Look at Myka.
I call her in the way that you call people in Rocky 1, where you just yell out the window.
And she's like the only person, like, when she doesn't take my calls, I'm like, yeah, it's just because Myka's incapable of friendship and you know, she's got problems. So I kind of
That's
like
probably true.
Yeah, it has
write
nothing
it
to
off.
do with you knowing
It's
I'm going
not
to answer
me.
a phone call from a person who thinks I'm incapable of friendship.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to answer that phone call, Danny?
But I-
look, it's a person who thinks I'm a reptile calling. I can't wait to talk to them.
But I do genuinely really like Myka like a lot. Like she's really important like person to me. But I also have a very low opinion of her social skills.
This is such bullshit because you're a
As her eyes
psychopath.
blink
I'm not a
You're-
psychopath.
I will not take social skill commentary from a man who, once we were hanging out in the East Village, he walks by a restaurant, knocks on the window, waves hi to this group of people. They wave hi back. He comes in, he's like, play along. He sits down, he's like, you remember me? He doesn't know these people.
That's good social skills. Myka, actually, you described good social skills, you stupid asshole.
Sits down,
Wait, hold on. Here's my example.
right.
I was
All
with
right.
Danny, and he made friends with a bunch of people.
he said, well, he did until they realized slowly that he didn't know him and that they were
Sure.
sharing a lunch with a complete psychopath.
Yeah,
Did they buy your lunch?
probably.
Incredible social skills.
Yeah.
You get a free lunch?
Yeah.
I mean, I will say Danny did talk Paul Giamatti into doing Comical Radio from running into him on the street.
That's right.
Those are incredible
Wow.
social skills.
I have great social skills. You just don't recognize good social skills because you're off the spectrum of social skills.
I have good social skills,
Tim,
though.
You do.
That's what makes us a good team.
Yeah.
Is
We
everybody
could-
likes
Tim
Tim.
is like a. I don't know if he's Midwestern. Are you Midwestern?
I'm from Indiana, baby.
Yeah, he's like a genuine good Midwestern American boy who found this reptilian Jew in
I'm
New
from
York.
Arizona. There's a lot of lizards. They
yeah,
survive there.
Yeah, and like it's so funny when I watch the clips because he's like a nice guy, and then
He is.
Myka just sits here and insults him constantly, but he loves you.
What do you want me to do?
And-
Blink into the sun?
Yeah, is that what you wanted to do, dumbass?
I show the clips to people sometimes, and they think they're hilarious.
And those people don't listen to
nobody-
the whole episodes either.
Nobody watches it. Nobody follows it on Instagram. There's nobody like it should be a massive thing.
Like, also, we haven't had like Mark Normand or Joe
why not?
List or.
Why don't you have them?
I keep telling Myka to ask him
Because those are my friends.
She won't
You
get
should
on the
have
phone.
them.
She needs to fucking just get on the horn and
This
call
should
him.
be a big podcast. Like also when I told people
Should
the
we call this
podcast-
episode the wake up call?
Yeah, I told people what podcast I'm doing. Nobody had heard of this podcast. Like whenever I told people the different podcasts
Ring,
I'm
ring.
doing in New York, and they'd be like, "Okay, that's good, and then they're like, "What? What podcast is that?" But you guys should
They're
be
like,
a
is
big
that the one with
podcast.
Amy Poehler?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're suing Amy Poehler.
I mean, it's very good what you do. It's very funny, and I don't know. Like I don't know many. Are you guys? You're not married, are you?
No.
You're like a husband-wife
Oh, yeah.
comedy team. That's
Yeah.
basically what you are.
We're like Myka's. We're like a what's the?
No, why
I
would I
can't
make
remember.
fun of a man like this? What would cause me? Maybe I'm not making fun of him so much as filling dead air.
Yeah.
I've never heard a man try so hard to think of any words to string
But
together.
to be fair, in Tim's defense, and I almost don't want to defend him because I don't want to ruin the dynamic.
No, you can
but
defend. You're allowed to.
You
defend
never
me.
give him a second to think. Like if he stumbles on anything, you just attack, like
Well, you
right
have.
away.
You absolutely have to. Here's the thing: you
How's-
gotta attack me because I'm gonna think of something and it's gonna be bad. So you might as well attack me,
It's a preemptive strike, Danny.
dude. Speaking of having good social skills, I was getting big pops at the DMV this weekend when I was over there. Fucking absolutely.
Tell us about it, Tim.
Yeah, well, thank you, Myka. I would absolutely love to. The lady asked me if so I had to get my real ID. And-
Once again, Tim's telling a story about himself instead of talking to the guest about himself.
Well,
I'm
trying-
engaged. You need to get a real ID. He hasn't done anything wrong in the story yet.
The lady goes, your license needs to be renewed in 2028. Do you want to renew it now for $12? And I was like, I don't really think I can swing it. I don't really have $12 in my account right now. I go, maybe in 3 years I'll have 12 extra bucks, huh? Big pop from the lady.
Big pop.
Big pop.
There's a lot in there. First of all, I don't think you should have to renew it if it's good till 2028.
Well, that was, that
that's
was
a long
point.
time. Second of all, why don't you have $12?
Well, that was the joke. I was just kidding. I did have $12.
Okay.
The license itself cost $12, but it was 12 extra bucks. I was just being funny, right before 9 a.m.
Didn't you hear about the part where he got a big pop?
Yeah, you didn't hear about the big pops?
Sorry. Okay.
He fucking slayed at the DMV. Tim's very good with black ladies. They love his ass.
Me too, by the way.
I get our hotel rooms upgraded all the time, just getting big pops at the hotel lobby.
Why don't you get big pops at the bank, Tim?
I had a great hotel.
Why don't you get big?
You want to hear something? I went to Vegas with my wife.
All right.
We're checking in at the Park MGM, and right in front of me, these people who were checking in got into an argument. I don't know over what, but they got into an argument with the concierge, and I said to my wife, I said to Kylie, I said, don't, because she's not scammy, but I'm like, just don't
put the
this.
mic in front of your mouth when you're talking.
I said, don't ruin this for me. Just let me talk, and you don't have to say anything.
I'm surprised when you do any business together, she ever opens her mouth.
Well, she would have ruined it.
You are a scam machine.
Not a scam machine.
But
all right, a little bit.
What?
So I
You got Patrice O'Neal to star in our web series multiple times,
and I bowfingered him.
And
That's
now
right.
he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I bowfingered him. Didn't you know that?
No, I didn't know you bowfingered him.
He didn't know we were filming him in a web series, and I was setting up the bits, and then he caught me.
Oh,
and then he gave me a lecture about it, and then he continued to be in the web series after that, which is amazing for him.
It's just
he said, why are you trying to... I can't even. It's just... So, Danny, you're too good for this. Why don't you ask me to be in your thing? Why are you tricking me to be in your thing? He's like, I'll do it. I'm like, so you'll do it? He's like...
And then you have him talk to Graham K. An absolute bungle.
Hey, listen, I will not stand by as anyone insults the genius of Graham K. But I will tell you that.
You got a dog, Graham.
You could do it once he puts everyone else to sleep.
All right, so the Park MGM.
Yeah, you're at the
We're
hotel.
checking in. The people in front of us get in a fight with the concierge. I tell my wife, don't say anything, and I tried something, and I couldn't believe it. So I go up, and I said, my wife was very triggered by what that fight that just happened.
Nice.
So she's just standing there. She's not saying anything. And the concierge says, what do you mean? I said, all the fighting that we just witnessed in front of us, I said, my wife is now very triggered from that fight.
Yeah.
She had to watch that fight. I don't know what it was about, He goes, well, I'm really sorry, but the people in front, I said, I don't want to know what happened. I'm just telling you, my wife is very, very triggered. He goes, okay, what if I upgrade you guys to the suite, and I'll give you $150 food and beverage credit, and I'll give you $150 casino play?
Yes.
Wow.
I said, I guess that could help.
I guess that could help.
I said, but she's very, very triggered. He's like, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm really sorry. The people before you came, they just gave me a really hard time. And anyway, look, you guys are... I got you you got $300 in credit in the things, and I'm going to put you in a suite. And we go upstairs, and we check into this beautiful suite, and my humanity hit me. And I was like...
What?
Yeah, I know, because I'm getting old.
After 40 years,
I
it
know.
finally happened.
I said... Kylie's like, this is incredible. I said, I don't like it. She said, what? I said, that guy, he's a concierge. His life is going terribly. He has to deal with really shitty people. And the people in front of us probably made his life miserable. And then he couldn't even have that moment of being miserable. And then I come, and then I make him feel bad about probably defending himself the one time he tried to stand up for himself. I'm going downstairs. I'm going to tell him I lied. She's like, no, you're not. She's like, I didn't want you to do it in the first place, but now I don't want you to undo it. And I said, I have to. I don't like this. I don't like that this whole trick.
God forbid at the casino
I was like, the whole triggered culture, I'm now part of it now, and I don't like it.
Not at the business that's trying to scam people at every turn.
Yeah, well, anyway, I went downstairs, and I stood in line again, and I said to him, I said, I got to come clean. I said, my wife was not triggered.
Yeah.
He says, what? I said, my wife wasn't triggered. I just want to see what would happen if I used that. And then you upgraded us and you gave us all this credit, and I don't want it. I said, just put us back in the regular room. and I don't like what I did here. And in your life, I wouldn't want your job, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with those people, and I'm sorry you had to deal with me.
Yeah, I
wouldn't want your life.
If I were you, I'd probably have killed myself by now.
And the guy said to me, he said, nobody would ever be as honest as you just were. He said, I'm going to double your credit.
No, come on.
I promise you. He changed it to $300 food and beverage credit and $300 casino play.
Okay, so first of all, money isn't real to these people.
Yeah.
But
Not at the casino, no.
That's insane, Danny.
That's what happened for being
well,
a
the
good guy.
$300
doubled it.
I have one question
doubled
for you.
it.
I have one question for you.
What?
At what point in the hotel room did you realize that if you pretended to be sorry...
That was genuine.
Yeah,
I
right.
really had
This is the greatest con artist alive, by the way.
I was genuine. I really was genuine. I really felt bad for the guy. And I was like, I'm part of the problem for this poor guy. And I went down for once in my life to do the right thing, and I doubled my money.
Yeah.
Wow. And this proves if you go woke, you don't go broke. Am I right, everybody?
High five.
Wow, look at them coming together.
Incredible stuff, Danny. Unbelievable.
You.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
you.
You
know, for going to the corrupt casino and telling them that you lied.
Now, how much money did you lose there?
Nothing, because I don't gamble. I only gambled with the house money because I'm a terrible gambler. And
Unfucking believable.
I had to stop gambling.
Yeah.
See what he thought was going to happen. He's like, I'm going to give this guy $300. He's going to whet his appetite. He's going to get 300 in. He's going to start betting $25 a hand. Then once the 300's gone, he's going to have to hit that ATM.
Right.
And then we've got him for $2,000.
Well,
Tim's reading from his diary.
I used to gamble. When I would go to gamble, I used to gamble till there was nothing left.
Yeah.
So now I don't gamble anymore. And it was like, you know when it got really bad, and it's a really dumb example, but it's true? When my wife and I were moving cross country, and we stopped at a road stop in New Mexico, and they had in the gas station, they had one of those machines where you put a quarter in, and it goes down the thing, and then it pushes quarters off the ledge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know those?
Oh, yeah.
And,
you got to spend money to make money,
and
baby.
I got hooked on the machine, and I got in a huge fight with my wife because I wouldn't leave the machine because I kept trying to...
That is the funniest image ever. Just like a freshly baked Orthodox Jew screaming at some fat guy to step away from the quarter machine.
Everybody is like, I knew it. I knew they were addicted to the quarter machine.
She's like, look, there's change everywhere for those eyes to see.
I'm surprised he hasn't punched through the glass.
I was just hooked, so I'm like, that was the last time I gambled with my own money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But I was going through $20 bills, turning them all into quarters, and my wife was like, we got in a huge fight. She's like, get in the car. I'm like, I need to get my money back. I lost too much money in this damn quarter machine. She's like, you're never getting it back. That's the whole point of the machine.
20s is insane.
But I'm like, they're all about to fall. I'm gonna make money. Don't you see? Like, because it looks like they're all gonna fall. You know,
it always does.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, you're sick.
The ring is so much bigger than the stick.
She's like, I'm going to get in the car and leave you here in New Mexico. And then I'm like, fine, go. And then she got in the car, and I heard the car start. I'm like, oh, she's serious. So then I ran out. and then I was like, she's like,
I'll be back for you, quarter machine.
Yeah. She's like, do you realize you have a problem here? I said, yeah. So
yeah, I got a bitch wife.
Yeah. I got a bitch wife who'll never let me get a damn W.
I almost made us rich.
She leaves. Next thing you
this
know,
close.
Man in New Mexico becomes billionaire after winning quarter machine.
Front page of the paper.
Yeah.
Quarter machine falls on man, wins lawsuit.
I can't. Those machines always get me because it always looks like everything's going to fall off the ledge. And you just think if I just put it in at the right moment, I'm gonna win big. But even if you win big, you're a moron because what do you win? Like $2? It's quarters, but it's something about it.
Some of them have like real hundreds and stuff. Well, I guess they're fake, but then you reclaim them at the front.
No, they do have ones with real $100 bills in them.
Oh well, you can watch it on TikTok Live.
It's still only $100.
Tim, you want to know gambling depths? Tim watches gambling online.
Oh, every day.
Every day.
Wow.
Watch blackjack every day. I watch slot machines every day.
He plays slot machines that don't win money. I'm like, the whole point of it is winning money. Slot machines are the most boring thing to
I don't do
ever.
that anymore, but I do watch people gamble every day.
Why?
I like it. I like it. It's relaxing to me.
He's
I like
a gambling
to watch
addict,
it.
and it's the only way he can participate.
I don't really gamble anymore, so I like to watch the people do it.
Tim, you're really funny.
That's true.
It's an interesting segue too.
Why don't you? I mean, I feel like you're out there all the time, and you and Micah's doing stuff. And
I think the answer to your question here is natural born loser. But go ahead.
Is that really it?
No, I don't know what you were going to say.
I don't know.
Why aren't you succeeding in any way, shape, or form? Is that what you were getting to?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know, man. I keep trying. I'm trying. My Facebook page that I started is doing pretty well. I've gotten to 5,000.
It's called Libtards for Fucks.
That's right, dude. And we're out there.
He just is there and tells grannies that there's poison in the water now.
Mm-hmm. And then I got a big eagle with Donald Trump's face on it. We're saving America one granny at a time. But I got 5,000 followers in a month, which is pretty good.
But because when you say like all those people are your friends, like Mark Norman and everything, they're not also Tim's friends, like.
No, I don't really
think
know.
Tim really knows him. I mean, like
I know Joe List a little bit, but I've met Mark Norman.
I guess what I was asking is like, why isn't he part of the mix? Like,
I'm lazy.
Okay.
That's interesting because Tim's always harassing me. He's like, Micah, you're the one with all the connections, so you got to do all the work. But yeah, Tim, why don't you fucking make some connections,
Here's the thing.
it?
I do all of the work. All you needed to do was get on podcasts and get people on our show.
But, like I'm saying, like why are you using Micah as like bait? Like when you have the abilities yourself, like you are.
Because when we started the show, I did all the recording, all the editing, all the setting up. All Micah needed to do was get on other podcasts to promote it and get people on our show as well as do the show.
She wouldn't do that?
She has done the do the show part.
She is lazy, I'll tell you that. I just talked to Chris Iacono for the first time in years.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And we did reminisce about how lazy Micah was. He's like, maybe if you would have got a female co-host who did something.
Wait, what?
I'm like, but she was so good on the air. He's like, yeah, but that's all she's good for. And I said, you're right. Yeah, she is really good on the air, but she will do nothing more than that. She shows up and she's funny, but she will not actually do anything more than that.
And that's what you need to realize.
She shows up and does her job good.
But her other part of the job was to get on other shows and also to get people on the show. That was the deal.
Yeah, well, you should do that.
I don't like the direction this show is going.
I think it's good, and I think it's a real glimpse. And the name of the episode is now The Wake Up Call, and it's good, and that's what it's going to stay. Micah, you named it, and you're getting it.
But you are very talented. Like, you are
she's
still
incredible.
Like, one of the best podcast people ever. You're very sharp. You're very quick.
I mean, who's sharper besides a fucking box of knives, you know?
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, like, she should be on all the podcasts. Actually, I ran into...
Are you sure Tim shouldn't be on all the podcasts? Do you hear that box of knives line?
Yeah, that is pretty good.
I was at...
you ever thought about knives being sharp? Interesting, interesting metaphor, like Tim.
Christy Stefano was in L.A.
I've heard of him.
Who?
Christy Stefano was in L.A., and I know him from a long time ago, and he was going to come do my podcast, but he had to cancel. But he said, I'm going to be at the Improv, and I thought, all right, I should go down there and, keep the connection alive or whatever, and say hi.
Yeah.
And so I did, and then Tim Dillon was there with him, and I didn't know Tim Dillon, and he knew me. And he's like, hey.
From her?
He's like, Comical Radio, Danny Lobell, I know who you are.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow, I'm a fan of what you do. I didn't know that you knew who I am. He's like, are you kidding me? You're a legend. You and Micah Fox. Micah Fox. Like, people know Micah Fox.
Yeah.
Micah and Tim are two fucking just pure pieces of shit in a pod, these two.
That was better. That was really good, Tim.
But, like, people know Micah. Micah's been around for a long time.
And now, did you just answer your question of why I had Micah try to get people on the show?
But she's not going to do it.
Well, that was the deal. That was the deal we made. I didn't know.
You made a deal with the devil. You're never going to get a deal out of Micah.
Wait, I can't. I'm trying to put my mind around Chris Iacono calling me lazy.
He did do a lot. He did all the editing and he did the Tim Bitchwork type of stuff.
Actually, now that you mention it, I just resent him because his grandma called me a Matzi Cristo and wouldn't let me eat her eggplant.
Yeah, knew you either?
No.
Yeah. Oh, you? No?
No, of course not. Yeah. But we did.
Yeah. His grandma hated the Jews.
Good woman.
Chris doesn't do comedy anymore.
Well, how is Chris?
Did his grandma get him run out of the business?
He's married. He lives in the mountains in Colorado somewhere with his wife, and I think he bought a lot of real estate, he said, so that's good.
Oh,
nice. That's what you want. Speaking of real estate, we got to get on to the next segment of our show. This is Hot Take of the Week. Myka, are you ready?
Oh, yeah, shit, fuck it. All right, hot take, summer in the city.
Danny, this is a part of the show where we do a hot take. Myka's going to give us a hot take she's found
I've seen
online.
the clips of hot take.
All right, good.
All right.
We got to get into our damn segments.
Sorry. Well, do we, Tim? All right.
I guess we don't have to.
We don't have to be as formatted.
I just am an autistic weirdo. So
Are you autistic?
No, but I like the show to run in a certain way. Myka's saying yes that I am, I guess. But.
I mean, the man has certain issues.
if the two of you just did slightly more work, this would be a big podcast.
I do a lot of work.
No, you need to go out to a comedy club where you are already. And then just go up to somebody who has a following and say, do my podcast. And then just name drop Myka, and they'll do it. Because they know her, like Tim Dillon. They know who Myka is. So just go up to somebody that you wish she would go up to, because she's never going to do it. She's incapable.
I'll do it. Oh, my God.
Do it.
All right.
Just go up
Gang,
to...
you saw it. You heard it here first. Good guests coming, not pieces of shit like Danny Lobell. We've got actual good guests.
I shouldn't be here. If they were doing things correctly, this would be booked and not available for me. But
we started doing the show, just the two of us, upon Tim Dillon's suggestion.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's ruining you.
he was like, the magic is you two. You guys are funny. The guest just fucking just sits there.
Yeah.
You're a great guest. Not all the guests. Having a guest every week doesn't make sense, but having a good guest makes sense.
I'm not just sitting here.
No, you're doing a great job.
No, you're actually spearing my very soul, and I can't wait till this is over.
I like it. It's good. You're saying all the things I'm too scared to say.
You're not too scared to say it. You yell at me, and I don't listen to you because I don't respect you, and that's what's happening.
You're saying all the things I don't have enough respect to say. Go ahead, Myka, hot take.
All right, here we go. Am I the asshole?
Yes, it sounds like yes, you are.
Am I the asshole for blaming all my failures on my more successful girlfriend?
Hold on.
Is that real?
Yeah, I'm reading it right here.
I'm getting a call. No.
Who is that, Hollywood?
Shut up, Myka. Yes, it was.
Am I the asshole for making my sister's gender reveal cake gray because she wouldn't tell me the gender?
No. What? I mean, what is it supposed to make it purple?
I don't know.
Blue and pink make purple, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, gray is funny. I mean, it's also funny to do.
It's funny. It is a little passive aggressive, maybe, because gray is, depressing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect color if your baby's going to be stillborn.
Yeah. Well, you could have made it the color of the floor.
Yeah.
It's such a sad color for a cake.
Just gray. Gray on the outside, red on the inside.
It's a little bit, the fact that they're asking the question, too, they know that they are an asshole because they're like, they want you to say no, but they know the answer is yes because they did it out of some kind of spite that they couldn't get the gender out of the person. And it's their right not to tell them. So they're like, okay, you're not going to tell me? I'll ruin the whole thing for you. But, I'll make the cake, gray and make this all about, the fact that you won't tell me this. But, no, yeah, you're an asshole for doing that, I think.
All right. I mean, maybe.
Could have been white.
But why would you ask someone to make a gender reveal cake and then not let them know the gender?
Yeah.
They're just asking you to bring a cake to a celebration.
All right, let me read on.
Would it be funny, though, if someone had a miscarriage and you made them a cake that looked like a toilet with a bunch of blood in it? I guess not.
Yeah.
I guess not.
I was thinking about
But
it.
think about it. All right, well, think about it. Maybe you'll laugh later.
But I mean, so it's funny to make it gray, but the fact is,
What if it's a stork and it's carrying a toilet?
That's funny. That's pretty good. And the stork's sad. It's crying.
Yeah, it's getting funnier.
I, a 22-year-old male, bake as a hobby, and I'm actually pretty good at it. I get paid under the table for weddings and baby showers. Kind of good. My sister is pregnant and wanted me to make a cake for her gender reveal. Okay, no problem. I asked her to send me the info so I could prep the inside classic pink or blue filling. She says, oh no, I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral for the reveal and we'll find out together. I was like, wait, what? So you want a gender reveal cake with no gender revealed? She says she'll have someone email me the info later.
That's weird.
That someone never did. The deadline comes and goes, and I still have no gender. And like I found out in the edits, like they like followed up. They're like, where the fuck is the gender? Like they could just never get the information.
So they did follow up.
Yeah. They did follow up. They could never get the information.
This wasn't like when I work with Sheen and I just allow him to fail without asking any more questions.
It seems like it, but I mean, it kind of like, yeah. At some point, you got to fucking bake the cake.
You got it. At some point.
It says, so I baked the cake. It's gray inside, gray outside, just full-on cement vibes. I even added little fondant clouds for effect.
Don't say cement vibes.
Yeah, well, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make like a sad Soviet cake for them. It's like, you know what you're trying to do? You're mad because you never got the email. And so you're like, all right, you don't tell me the gender. I followed up. Now look what you're going to get. A big chunk of cement.
A big gray. The day comes, they cut into it. My sister looks pissed. Her husband is confused. People start murmuring. Okay.
Oh, nice. You
not
want
murmurs.
Yeah, not murmurs.
Well, this guy says
Next, there's going to be shouts.
People are like, this guy gets paid under the table.
I love how she's talking about it like it's like a wedding day where like the bride is left at the altar and it's like in a rom-com and everyone's like, oh my god.
He's blowing it up. It wasn't as much of a thing.
No one's fucking murmuring at a gender reveal. They're probably like, who gives a fuck? Why do we still have gender reveal parties? Did you have a gender reveal for your baby?
No. But you know, the more I think about the story, the more I think nobody cared about the cake.
Nobody gives a fuck.
And he just wants to tell the story so he could get some attention for the fact that he made it gray and nobody cared. And
yeah, I heard murmurs. It was probably about my cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he made a very subtle prank, and nobody cared or picked up on the prank. And he's like, well, I'm going to get attention for what I did here. And he wrote this thing. But I don't think anybody cared about what he did now that I think about it.
Anyway.
My sister looked pissed. I mean, was the cake good? Did they like it? Did the people eat it?
Yeah, does she have resting bitch face?
The sister pulled her aside and said, why would you make it gray? That's so passive-aggressive. So you're right, it is passive-aggressive.
Yeah.
All right. So
clearly passive-aggressive.
But are they an asshole for doing that, like, when they spent their own time and money to make a cake?
They should have made it purple.
Yes, because, like, she obviously didn't want to tell the gender. That's her right. And then he's like, you know, there's some kind of weird controlling part about this guy where he's like, all right, you're not going to tell me the gender? Watch what I could do. I'm going to make a very subtle statement. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, why not just make a regular baby shower cake?
Right. He didn't want to do that because he had to make it about, like, you know, the fact that he didn't get the gender and he wanted it and he sent an email. And it's like, grow up.
It's not that he wanted the gender. I think he was pissed that they asked him to labor for free and then, like, not give them the information. Like, it's like, hey, make me a gender reveal cake.
Either do it with a good heart or don't do it at all.
Should have made the inside chocolate, and then he could be like, I heard it's black.
Oh, Tim's been thinking about this the whole time.
I've been cooking one up. Big pops at the DMV for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Getting absolutely huge.
Those pops at the DMV are gunshots. I don't know. That's when you get a big laugh. You never heard that term?
Yeah, it's a big pop. Brother, I get them constantly.
Oh, sorry. In the Midwest, it's called big sodas.
Oh,
it's like Midwestern talk.
She's done it again.
All right. Well, that was hot.
Have you brought her? Yeah, I remember one episode. You did bring her home to your hometown. Your family makes shades or something.
Yeah, we make window coverings, and my dad likes to drive Myka around and point at all the buildings.
Yeah,
that we put the blinds in every year.
And then she goes on the podcast and just shits all over your dad.
Yeah.
How did he like that? He was fine with that?
This man right here?
Yeah.
He's good. He doesn't give a fuck. He has more money than Myka, so he doesn't care.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care about anything.
Just imagine being like, that big city Jew came here and didn't care at all about my shades.
That's pretty much how all the people in his town handle it when I do comedy.
Town? It's Indianapolis, Indiana. It has 1 million people. Also, my mom's family likes when Myka comes because they think it's very funny when she dogs my ass in front of everyone.
You do that at his house?
Oh, yeah. She does it at family celebrations, and they laugh and laugh, and they have a nice time.
They all hate him, too.
They don't hate me. They just see me. Everyone just sees me as a punching bag.
One day Tim's going to get some self-esteem, and I don't want to be there when that happens.
I think you are here, and it's obnoxious.
I've gotten self-esteem before, and it almost ruined our relationship.
Are you kidding me? This man wanted to brag about doing big jokes at a post office.
Big pops, though. I mean, you're not understanding how big
people with no self-esteem don't brag about their DMV laughs.
Pops at the post office.
I fucking kill at the post office. That's for real.
Big pops.
Oh
man!
Before we get into our next segment, one of our better segments, let's do some plugs. Danny, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah.
All right.
I have a special ad on Amazon. It's called Reconquistador. It's a half documentary and half stand-up special in Barcelona. Please go and rent it.
Cool. Rent that on Amazon.
Put out by Stand Up Records out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Dan Schlissel, great guy.
Oh, shout out Schliss.
Yeah.
There you go. Myka, what do you got, dumbass?
Oh, I'll be judging the roast battle Wednesday the 15th at New York Comedy Club.
Yeah, I heard you do that now. Somebody told me, I'm doing a roast battle. A young comic told me that, and he's like, I'm one of the judges I'm really nervous about.
Wait,
she's
really?
vicious.
That's true. I was at one recently, and Myka was ripping these fucking little cunts apart.
And I said, I probably don't know who it is because I haven't been in New York in a decade, but run the name by me. And he goes, Myka Fox. And I almost fell off my chair.
That's so funny.
I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah, Myka.
These kids are scared of me. I love that.
She's absolutely I went to one. I could barely stand inside. She was torching everyone. I was like, God damn. I know what that feels like.
He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I hate when Myka's a judge.
Oh, no.
She's so vicious.
Afterwards, you got to tell me who it is, so that way I can be extra mean to them.
Okay.
Gang, as of now, May 28th, my cracked set will be on YouTube. May 28th at noon Eastern Central Time, my cracked set will be coming out. So if you want to check that out, it'll be a Cracked Comedy Club on YouTube. We all watched Myka's incredible set. Now we get to watch mine, where in 12 minutes, I threatened to take my own life 3 times. So
Cracked is back, baby.
Cracked is back,
They're
baby.
producing specials. They're getting really good comics.
Still, Adam Scott, that guy?
I don't know.
Oh, from Severance?
Adam Scott Brown was running it?
That's not who's running this, but we'll tell you after after the show.
Yeah, we don't want their emails to get flooded with a bunch of upstarts.
Yeah, a bunch of upstarts. I'm scared of Myka, but I'd love to do your crack taping.
Cracked was going to get behind Comical Radio, and then they went under. Right? That was.
Well, they're back in a big way, and hopefully they stay afloat until June 1st, so that you can see my set May 28th when it comes out. And other than that, I really don't have anything else. Check out the Patreon, of course, at patreon.com/greathang. This week I did the Mother's Day quiz with friend of the show, Trent Mabry. It was a very, very fun and laugh-filled episode with some insane questions about Mother's Day. But with that, let's get into our best segment of the show. Ding, 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 ding,
No,
ding,
Tim,
ding,
we
ding,
don't have
ding,
time
ding,
for
ding, ding. It's time for the news
come on, we've
with Tim McLaughlin.
Tim, don't we spend so much time talking to Danny? Let's just fucking not do this. This is not fair.
New York City performance artist divides people with sidewalk carpet stunt.
No, stop.
It's been
I hate
quoted
this.
as perverted. There's something deeply unsettling about walking down a street and realizing the path you just stepped on is breathing. Oh, this is from the New York Post, by the way.
Oh, is this the carpet guy? The guy who rolls himself in a carpet and then gets off when you step on him?
But in New York City, a city where nothing shocks anyone anymore, a street performance artist named Kevin Carpet has raised eyebrows for forcing people to do exactly that.
It's the same fucking pervert who's been around for 2 decades. I used to hire him to be in my variety shows.
Oh, well, then you'll know about this. His art, undetermined. His medium, carpet. Myka, what do you think about this guy?
I think he's a fucking pervert and that he should have been paying me to perform on my shows.
Danny, what do you think about this carpet art?
I don't know. I'm laughing so hard because every single time you've ever gone into the news with the ding, 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 it just sets her off every single time.
Yeah,
and then every time she's like, I don't want to do it, and then she somehow gets dragged into it. And I think it's genuine. I don't think this is a setup. I think.
Oh no, she hates it.
I think it's like there's some insanity to it because like it just happens exactly the same way,
because
like clockwork every time.
Well, it used to be that I would win my way out of having to do it.
Yeah,
and
but
so that's to the point where I forgot that it was like a possibility, and every week I forget it's going to happen, and then he does it, and it's like it strikes at my very heart.
It goes something like this. Wrapping himself in carpet and lying motionless in public spaces. Inviting strangers to walk on him. Some thinks it's art. Some think it's a prank. And others think it's incredibly creepy. Kevin is no stranger to attention. He has been in the human carpet business since the 80s.
Yeah, he's old as shit, and so is the jizz all crusted up in his rug. There's no way he's not just using that as a condom, just fucking jizz into.
Kevin Carpet, get yourself in the comment section and become a part of the Goo Gang here at Great Hang. But I can't
believe that guy's still alive.
Yeah, you getting stepped on that much? Does he have like a big pad in there?
I'm sure I could find a picture of me stepping on this fucking guy. He's been around forever.
You stepped on him?
Many times.
So he just likes being stepped on.
Yeah, because he's a rug. And
So
it was funny to me when I was in my 20s and drunk, and I was like, yeah, I'll step on the carpet guy. But now I'm like...
Now you just step on Tim.
Well...
Metaphorically, of course, and I freaking don't like it at all. Winking.
I don't like the direction of this podcast. Everyone's acting like, oh, poor Tim. Like, I haven't fucking saved his life.
Did you?
I'd have been fine.
Probably.
How did you save his life?
Actually, I might have actually saved his life. I got him to quit smoking. He was having lung infections multiple times a year and wouldn't quit on his own.
If once a month is multiple times a year, then yeah, I guess I was.
It's like a period.
That's pretty bad.
His most recent exhibition...
Tim, there's no more to this article. Just be done with it.
...has reignited NYC's oldest debate. This is the oldest debate here in New York City.
Is there jizz in the rug?
Is Kevin Carpet just plain old weird? That's the oldest debate in New York City. That's New York City's oldest debate. Yeah. Is Kevin Carpet plain old weird? Oh, brother, you can't catch me. I'm out on the town. People are talking all over the place. Upper West Side.
He's just plain old weird.
In a clip posted to social media, which has gathered over 3.5 million views, many branded it as perverted and sick.
But a lot of people said, no, plain old weird.
Kevin can be seen lying on the floor in broad daylight while unassuming pedestrians jump over or step on him. He can even be heard saying, ow, as a couple walk over him. And I think that's the end of it.
That should be the end
of it. Oh, wait,
there's
a lot more.
No, Tim, stop.
A lot more. What else do you need to say?
I don't know. Who cares? All right, that's the end of the news. This guy is wrapping himself up in... You know, the only people should be wrapped up in carpets? The enemies of the freaking mafia, if you're asking me.
Well, there probably is a large contingent of people who like to be stepped on and pay for it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It seems like he found a loophole.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
Well, there's the guys, of course, that like to be smashed. They get those big women to, like, sit on them, or they'll be, like, laying on a bed, and these big, fat, like, 600-pound Dave Blunt's ladies will just, like, just smash them.
And then what happens, Tim?
The gambling?
No, I've heard about it. Sure. I heard about it from many friends.
And then I've done a lot of research.
Yes.
He's like, I just see advertisements for it when I watch cake farts.
We got to give some advice. It's time for some advice. I thought I was gay, but I feel attracted to a woman. Jesus Christ. Now the gays are becoming straight? What's happening to this country? I, 27 male, thought I was gay my whole life. Dated girls in high school, which looking back, I feel like made great friends, but was kind of using it to cover up being into guys. Oh, you're talking about every gay dude in high school? Cool, bro. Recently moved and started a new job, and me and this girl have been hitting it off to the point where I got confronted by a coworker about what's going on between us.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Myka, have you ever dated a gay man? We know you're one of New York City's top hags.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But have you ever dated a gay man?
Myka D-Train Fox, as I recall.
Yo. The D-Train rides again. I don't think so. I had a crush on a guy who was bi when I was in high school, and I think that's the extent of it.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I know she's into me, but I feel very confused and don't want to hurt her or make things weird at work. I'm a verse sub with guys and don't know how this would work out.
What does that mean?
So he can top, but he's mostly...
Look at the expert over here.
He's submissive. Normally he's a bottom, a submissive verse, but he can top.
What's verse mean?
Verse
means you
he
can
top or bottom.
means you can either stick it in or
he's
get
versatile.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
So he can either stick it in or get it stuck into him. He's like,
so there's versatility to this man.
Yes.
So then why is he surprised if there's versatility with gender as well?
Well,
a great point.
He's a sub. I think the problem with all of this is that he's a sub and he's worried about sticking it in a woman and being dominant. I
feel like if you're a woman who's dating a gay guy, you should expect to be the dominant one.
Get a strap on and just start
just
fucking
get
the hell out
a
of this
carpet.
guy. Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Kill him, wrap him up a minute, and save everyone the trouble.
That's right. Send him to hell. We have things planned outside of work to hang out, but I don't know what to do. Any advice?
Well, what advice does he need? See where it goes.
He's worried.
He's worried about what?
Yeah.
He's worried that he doesn't know because he's a verse sub with guys. So he doesn't know what'll happen if he dates a girl.
So why doesn't he just find out?
He's going to have to listen. Here's the biggest problem is when you date women, you got to listen to them. Guys don't really have to listen to each other. So I think that's going to be his main obstacle. Myka, what do you think?
I think first he should listen to podcasts from 2000 where that take is from. Fucking women, they love to talk. Am I right? You got to listen to women.
Oh, shit.
They also be shopping.
That's true. Oh, my God. They'll get along. They'll get along perfectly. Gay guys also like to shop.
That's a great point, Tal.
Have you thought about that? Danny, go ahead.
Have I thought about that gay guys like to shop? I don't know. I suppose they do. What am I asking? I don't.
This is a bad.
The guy's a verse sub. See, here's the thing. You guys aren't understanding. He's a verse sub. Go ahead.
I think you should date Tim.
Go ahead.
I think that's a perfect person for this guy.
I just don't see why he has to ask. Why doesn't he just go and explore it? If he likes her and she likes him, then why is this even a converson?
Well, I think because he's gay.
It's because he's a verse sub, dude.
Yeah, he's a verse sub.
Because he's labeled himself something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would advise that he gives it a shot.
He should smooch her and then let her strap one on and see how that feels and just figure it out from there.
Wonderful advice, Tim.
Michael, what do you think? Would you strap one on and bang a gay dude?
For free?
Well, yeah, for free. I guess if you were dating him at your workplace.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
If I was into him.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's very good. All right, and that's that. All right, now it's time for the actual. It's time for the actual best part of the show.
That's that.
It's time for the actual best part of the show. Reviews for the podcast.
You know, now that I've actually been through a whole podcast, I'm not so sure that I think this could be a big podcast. I think it should stay clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Go on. What is the reviews for the podcast?
Well, we go on Apple iTunes, see if anyone's left any 5-star reviews. You can leave whatever stars you want, of course. It's a free country, but 5 stars is encouraged. Nothing on Apple Podcasts, but we do go to YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we would love it if you liked and subscribed. And if you write a comment, we will read it. So we read all our comments from the comment section. Berserk for Soul says, congrats on Skankfest.
Ah, thanks.
Respect, brothers. And then a heart
Yeah,
emoji.
congrats, guys. That's how you're doing that.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Micah muscled us into it. It was pretty cool.
See, but I don't do anything for us ever.
I mean, obviously you do the most in this couple, but you could probably go out and get some guests better than me who have like a big following to do this show. You know, I'm not saying they're better guests than I am, but they would probably bring more people to the podcast than I can, and that would be helpful to both of you because you are putting the time into this, and it is funny.
I think you've been one of our best guests. I think we've been one of our best guests so far.
Thank you, Tim.
I really have enjoyed what you've brought to the table, Micah-wise. So it's been
I'm
good.
better than Tim Dillon, who tried to sink the whole show by getting rid of guests.
No, but he is right. We are good together, and I think if we did like one guest a month, that would be fine. But having him every week is tough when some people do just sit there and just watch us go.
Because I don't know who you're booking, but anybody who's got any experience at all would probably be a good guest. There's a lot of people. It's New York. I mean, why don't you get Colin Quinn or people like that to come down?
Well, I don't know if he'll come to Brooklyn. We want to get, we could come to him, but we want to get a medium on the show. Do you believe in ghosts? Myka thinks a ghost talked to her in our home.
Yeah, I kind of believe in them.
You do?
You're a Jew. Of course you believe in them.
Is that a Jew thing to believe in ghosts?
Is it? I don't think so.
Black people believe in ghosts. They're very scared of. Oh yeah,
black people believe in ghosts.
If you've heard
no, Tim's working on his DMV material again.
Well, I mean, my buddy had a joke about how the two scariest things to black people were ghosts and cops, and his house was haunted by ghost cops.
All right.
Ryan Cosman says Tim needs to get an electromagnetic spectrum reader. They're like $40. I used one last summer in my family farmhouse, basement in Iowa. For like a split second, it's kind of scary when the yellow flashes when the yellow flashes on the device after you tell the ghost that they can communicate with you through the device, but then you just roll with it and kind of interact with whatever is there.
It's an electronic Ouija board.
My hand to the sky, I had 2 different sessions at 4 a.m. for like an hour each time with intelligent interaction. 100, it seemed like to me. The third time I went at midnight and nothing happened. It felt like the timing was off. Possibly whatever happens with GHB. Hey, and watch yourself with GHB, of course. I know for a fact they won't take any fucking shit from a ghost or...
GHB stands for ghost haunting behavior, Tim.
Well, GHB stands for Great Ink Podcast.
Oh,
I know GHB. Yeah, I was telling people to watch themselves with GHB as well. I know for a fact that won't take any fucking shit from a ghost, or maybe they could just befriend it and see if it can give some gambling advice. That would be nice, or something useful like that. Saluting emoji.
Stay away from the quarter machine. That's what I'll tell you.
Go to the quarter machine.
Do you remember Joe Franklin?
Fuck yeah.
So I used to hang out sometimes at his office in Times Square, and it was like Broadway Danny Rose. He had such an eclectic mix of like old time vaudevillian entertainers that no one had ever heard of. One time he goes, this guy, my friend, he's a big psychic medium from London. He goes, this guy is a comedian, very funny, very funny. He goes, I want you two to meet. And, he says, this guy, brilliant from London, one of the best, talk to each other. So I started talking to the guy, and I said, you really could communicate with ghosts? And he goes, yes, I really can. So I remember my great-grandmother used to babysit me when I was a kid, and she used to make me this banana cake. And it was like banana bread, but like I never had anything like it. And I've been chasing the banana bread my whole life, trying to find one like that, and I never have. So I thought this would be a really good way.
Looks like you found a couple.
I found them and not like that one.
Yeah,
Right.
That's why he's chasing. He's got to try them all.
Yeah, I got to try them all. Once I would be in good shape if I found one. But but I was like, this would be a good way to test if this guy is real. If I could get him to communicate with my great-grandmother, get the recipe, go home, make it. If it tastes the same, then ghosts are real,
That's a great test.
So I said to him, okay, talk to my great-grandma Anna and get me the recipe. And he goes through, so, all right, I'm channeling. Anna, can you hear me? All right, Anna. And he starts talking to my great-grandmother, supposedly. And the impressive thing about it is that he did relate to me a banana cake recipe without anything in front of him. He's like, 3 eggs? Did you say 3? 3 eggs? Okay. Banana, vanilla extracts. I'm writing it all down. I'm amazed that he's listing ingredients.
Yeah.
And then amounts. So I'm this is incredible. Either way, it's incredible that he knew off the top of his head how to make a banana.
That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. So I'm all right, I gotta go. And I just I jetted out the door in time from the Times Square office, down the stairs, onto the L train, to Brooklyn, to the Graham stop. Run into Key Foods there to get the ingredients to see if this is real. Because I'm now really into it. Reach in my pocket, the thing is gone with the ingredients.
Ah.
So I retrace my steps all the way back down the L train steps, take the L train back to, switch to, I guess, the A, whatever it was. I go back to Joe Franklin's office, up the stairs. I'm looking everywhere to see where it would have fallen. I go in the office. Joe's there. The guy from London's not there anymore. And I said, Joe. He goes, oh, nice to see you again, my friend. Nice to see you. I said, what happened to that psychic from London? And I promise, he goes, psychic from London? We never had a psychic from London.
Shut up.
I said, yes, you did. He was here. He communicated with my grandma. He gave me a banana bread recipe. You were sitting right there. He goes, I don't remember. There's a lot of people come in and out of the office.
I don't remember.
A lot of people come in and out of the office.
That was true. A lot of people did come in and out of the office, but, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Never found out.
So you think the psychic was possibly a ghost?
That would be interesting. No, I didn't think that. I just think Joe Franklin was losing it. But I think I never thought that. But I came so close to knowing for sure if these guys were real or not, and I never found out.
Damn, that's crazy. That's pretty cool. I'm sorry that you were never able to find out. But I bet the secret ingredient, even if you made it,
was love.
Yep, that's right.
Then I was thinking, if it is real, how obnoxious that I would interrupt my great-grandmother's afterlife for a freaking banana bread recipe.
Well, if she loved
She's
you,
looking
she
down at
been
you
fine
being
with
like, this fat motherfucker. She's like, this is my legacy, a banana bread chasing
This
bitch.
is what he wanted to know?
Not is there an afterlife? Is there heaven?
Yeah.
What's the future for my children? None of that.
What does Jimi Hendrix hog days like?
Yeah.
That's Tim's first question.
Y'all up there sucking Jimi Hendrix hog? That's what I'd ask my grandma. She's still alive, though. Miriam Zapata says, I'll see y'all at Skankfest in November. Yay. Super
awesome.
hyped. Jezza West says, please never get rid of the news. And also, please...
Look at Micah's face.
And also, please never get rid of...
They do it because they hate me, Danny.
Well...
Please never get rid of Myka acting like she hates it.
I'm not acting like I hate it.
I really think it's genuine.
She does hate it.
Yeah.
Alan Thickdick says, Myka, I believe you about the ghost.
Thank you.
I used to work as
Thank you, Alan Thickdick.
I used to work as a dishwasher. So this is
people your podcast attracts.
We watch We've been watching the practice a lot, and this is like when on the practice they bring someone up on the stand and they're like, okay, so you have 19 arrests and you're in 5 gangs and your name is Alan Thickdick. He's like, we've got to do a lot of work with the jury here. I used to work as a dishwasher, so I was the last one out of the kitchen at night, and I had multiple ghost experiences in that haunted kitchen. The most notable is that the ghost threw a container of plastic silverware on the floor. The kitchen was locked. Nobody else was there. The container was not attached to the wall, or the container was attached to the wall. There was no way it could have moved on its own. I told my coworkers the next day, and they all had their own ghost experiences.
It's crazy that nobody who worked at that restaurant realized they had rats.
By the way, I just remembered why I was calling Myka like several times in a row a few months ago. What she was referring to is because somebody had a gig in New York and needed a comic, and I was trying to give her the gig, but she wasn't calling me back, and I'm like, I'm not going to text her if she's not calling me back.
This is bullshit. No,
that's true.
This is bullshit.
Yes, it is.
And
It's true. It's 100% true.
Danny, give me the gig.
I was offered a gig.
The gig was talking to her friend Danny, and she didn't accept it.
I was offered a gig by somebody for $500, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to fly to New York for $500. And they said, do you know a comedian? And I thought of Myka, but she wasn't calling me back, so I'm like, screw it. If she's not going to pick up the phone, I'm not texting her because I'm going to give her a gig if she's not answering my calls. And I just remembered that, and there you go.
This is bullshit on your part.
It's 100% true.
It might
Why
be
did you leave a voicemail?
It might be true.
Because I'm not leaving her a voicemail, she won't pick up the phone.
Oh.
She sees that I'm calling.
Sometimes
so
you can't answer the phone.
You lost $500.
I lost a lot more than that, Danny. That's absurd. You know what? That's the most obnoxious thing you've said since you've gotten here.
Synagogue.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
They would have loved my ass.
Well, they're conservative synagogue. They probably would have loved you.
No, they would have hated me.
She would have had to shave all her fucking hair before she went up.
You don't know
they
what
wanted a Jewish comedian who was like not religious, and I thought
you said conservative.
Yeah, conservative.
Oh, to you, that's not very conservative.
That's not very religious.
Oh,
yeah.
They would have hated me.
I think they would have liked you.
Maybe they would have liked me, but Danny, that is insane.
They would have liked your landlord joke.
When you're Nowadays,
I described her as a young Lorraine Newman type.
You want to know what's crazy is when they were making that SNL movie, they reached out to me to audition to play Lorraine Newman.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
And actually, what's so fucked up about that is so then I I sent in the thing, and they accidentally CC'd me on their response about my audition, and they were like, "Yeah, she did really great, but obviously not right for this." And I was like, "Oh, well,
you could have played her.
Pretty good. I think I could have played her. I don't know who played her. I haven't even watched it."
Yeah.
The Gimp says, just pause this to watch Myka's crack set, and it was great.
Thanks, the Gimp.
Looking forward to seeing Tim at Skankfest. I can't go for legal reasons, but it will be good to see him there nonetheless. Hail Satan.
Do you think the legal reasons are that he's not allowed to get within 200 feet of Dave Smith?
yeah. He's far too libertarian.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The Gimp, I think legally the Gimp needs to be locked in his basement at all times.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But thank you, the Gimp.
Thanks, the Gimp.
New Jersey Greg says, Little Ghost Blue. Oh, sorry. New Jersey Greg says, Little Ghost Blue. He needed the money.
Oh.
And then cigarette.
Yeah. I didn't know you had that kind of flexibility.
Oh, yeah. If it comes
Tim, show him how you can suck your own dick.
Okay. I'll do it. That's on the Patreon at patreon.com/great. Hughes on says, time to mow the lawn. #Goo Gang. Greg says, Myka with the tucked in shirt had us all on goo alert. And then sweaty, hot face.
What the hell are these people? What goes on?
They all bust to the show.
They bust to the show.
They call themselves the Goo Gang.
Okay.
Uncle Jemima started them busting to the show, and now Uncle Jemima is no more.
You think if we get Mark Normand on the show, the Goo Gang will disappear, Danny?
I think maybe this show has gotten as big as it can ever get.
Clump, alert emoji. Gabe Sohn says, Tim is Andy from Parks and Rec.
Oh.
That's true, but Andy had a job. Dire Badger says, Myka is Jewish American Princess Peach with Tim Dillon as Big Gay Bowser taking her to numerous castles and steakhouses.
That's funny.
That's
fun.
That would be a fun
couples costume?
Yeah, couples costume, or just I was gonna say if someone could draw it like a deviant, not a deviant art, but like a fan art.
Yeah, make some fan art of me and Tim.
That would be really funny.
Has anyone made fan art of you guys yet?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They did the Gone Girl. They did a Gone Girl thing with Great Hang, which was really good, and some other stuff that I can't remember off the top of my head. Cedum says it does make you feel crazy when you see or hear a ghost, but they can't do shit. So you can either go crazy obsessing about it or just accept they're around. Also, they could be glimpses into your times or universe. Excited to see you guys at Skankfest. So it could be you from a different verse, Myka.
Interesting. Why am I trying to tell myself about realty?
Well,
that's what they said to me.
So why would you try to tell yourself about realty? You keep looking at buying someplace.
You guys didn't buy this place?
No.
Then why did you move here from that better place that you had in Long Island City?
Because it was a studio, and that was too small for Tim and I.
Yeah. But the other place we moved into was $45. They raised our rent to $4,500 a month.
Is that a lot out here?
From $3,000.
We were paying $3,200. They raised it to $4,500, and only one of us has a full-time job.
Right, me. Oh, yeah, okay. It's not a full-time job getting big pops wherever you go. All right. Chuck Space said, goon's gonna goon. Sean from Pittsburgh says, Tim, the next time you cook bacon, I recommend you try the cold start method. Perfect every time. I did do that, but I had to cook like 3 pounds of it. So
how long does this part of the show go on for?
It goes on for a while.
Until we're out of reviews. Do you need to go to the bathroom?
No, I'm shocked that this is still going.
Courtney B fell asleep.
Tim also is the slowest reader on the planet. which is one of the main reasons I hate the news. So Tim, pick it up.
But like also like you always when you have a guest here, they just sit here while you read all these comments.
Well, we don't have
and then they tell a story about how they went to some fucking agent's place and they talked to a guy about banana bread for a while. I mean, the segment would have been over probably 5 minutes ago if that story wasn't in there.
Okay.
Tim, pick it up.
EO says, Tim and Mike have a soothing rapport. These really get read every week. We'll see. Peace sign.
See, this is why we have to do that. The people love it.
Peace sign. P.S. Mike or P.S. Fox v Polar arm wrestling.
I could take her.
Okay. I know where Rachel Dratch lives. Let's go kidnap. Yes. Let's go kidnap Rachel Dratch until Amy Poehler will arm wrestle you, Myka.
Yeah, arm wrestle Dratch free.
Yeah, that's how we free Dratch.
Remember you once brought Dan Dratch on Comical Radio?
This is bullshit. You brought Dan Dratch on Comical Radio.
You brought Dan Dratch.
I didn't bring him. You brought him, and then
you brought Dan Dratch.
I didn't know Dan Dratch. How would I know Dan Dratch?
You knew people like that.
Nobody fucking knows Dan Dratch, and no one wants to know Dan Dratch.
You brought Dan Dratch on, and then you insulted his sister.
You brought in Dan Dratch, and then I insulted his sister, and I felt terrible about it. And I didn't mean to, but then I went
back to the concierge, and he doubled his sister.
And then I apologized to Dan Dratch, and then I forgot that I apologized to Dan Dratch, and then I called him a few years later and apologized, and he said, "You already apologized to me."
You did all of this. I had nothing to do with Dan Dratch.
Anyway.
We have two more left. Bubbles McGee says, Myka, Tim set you up twice when he said, we need a medium in this house. We expected response would have been, I'll settle for an extra large. Where has your fastball gone?
Damn, if only you were sitting on that couch.
Bubbles McGee, that is a good burn, though.
Yeah.
Yes, you says that Shoeless Joe Jackson bit was so hilarious I nearly drove off the road and ran into a tree. I told you it was a funny joke, Myka.
Oh, it was great. And that guy sounds sincere as hell.
Well, that's it. We only have one more segment left. Speak ill of the dead.
Shouldn't there have been one about like what makes a person a great hang?
Oh, I told him
because I was racking my brain about that for the whole subway ride here, and then I figured it out, and then you never brought it up.
Oh, then we'll do it now.
We haven't had guests in a while, so Tim forgot, which is also why I didn't bring it up till later. But
all right.
So,
you got a tip for being a great hang?
It's not now it's going to sound like I got something really good. I don't. I just had to prepare because you said to.
Well, then don't tell it. Let's move on.
But I just here's what I came up with. It's just that you should have.
No, we don't have to.
You should have some conversational material, I think. Like, you can't just rely on everything being off the cuff. If you have a few good stories in your back pocket,
Myka,
that would make you a great hang, right? Because otherwise things start going off.
You're
it's
right.
Like a bad improv show.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You should. I don't.
I do. I got a bunch of stories to tell.
Got big pops.
Big pops all over the party.
Right? You need to have a few things that if things are going slow and then, you're like, oh, this isn't such a great hang, you could pull out.
What's your go-to?
Yeah, what do you
conversational material?
Yeah.
I have a lot of conversational material.
Just give me the first one. It's getting slow in here.
No, it's got to relate to whatever the thing is. You have to have a few things that like something triggers it and you can, bring it in.
So be a human who remembers their life.
All right. Let's do. All right, we'll do a scene, Myka. Things are starting to get slow. So I was in court the other week because my wife got raped, and
all right. So I got a good court pice of material.
All right, go.
I was trying to get out of a jury duty.
Yeah.
And I was in the jury duty, and then I thought, okay, I'll be super excited to be part of the jury to get out of being in the jury because probably nobody's used that before.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And so like I got really hyped, but as I was doing it, the case was like getting really interesting of what the jury duty was, and I was starting to think maybe I do want to be here, but I had already gone too far to get myself kicked out, and they said, juror number this one, he's out. And I said, no, I really do want to be here now. I said, and I had tried to convince them to let me stay because it was a juicy case, but I couldn't stay because I was too good at getting out of it by acting like I wanted to be there.
Oh, man.
Damn.
That's a good piece of conversational material.
Yeah, and totally relates to his wife's rape.
Well, he just brings up court, then you change the subject because, the rape avenue is not going to go anywhere.
She's been crying herself.
Wrong about that. I wanted to hear all about the rape.
She's been crying herself to sleep every night for 6 months. It's been wearing on her marriage.
Well, it's only funny because we don't believe it. But if it was like a real rape story, you're like, oh, this is going to kill the hang. You know, I don't want to get into that.
The guy walked free. My wife sleeps in terror every night that it'll happen again.
Genevieve, who you know, brought somebody over the place who said that she'd gotten raped multiple times. And then I started in on her because I thought that was an interesting thing to be raped multiple times by different people. And I was like, is there something very rapey a bull about you that makes people want to rape you? I said, because that's unusual. I think that you would just attract rapists.
Yeah, what crystals do you have in your pockets?
It's actually very common that once you've been raped, you become repeatedly raped. There's something like vulnerable about you. So the same thing that got you raped.
So that rapists can smell it on you?
Rapists can smell the weakness on you. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah. If you believe SVU.
It is statistically, that's like a statistical thing.
Why wouldn't you kind of avoid situations that got you raped in the first place?
What were you wearing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, just like, isn't it kind of unusual for someone to get raped?
Yeah. Right? But then once it's kind of like...
I don't think it's that unusual. I think like 1 in 4 women have been raped or something.
No. I think maybe molested or touched inappropriately, but raped?
Well, assaulted.
A rape is a big thing.
Yeah, but it's pretty common.
Yeah.
1 in 4 women have been raped. That's a real statistic?
Yeah, Tim just said it.
Yeah.
Tim said it, so it must be real. I don't know. I would think if you were raped, you would have some kind of insider rapey knowledge that you would be like, okay, I don't want to put myself in that same situation that got me raped the first time.
So what you're saying is that you should have a topic of conversation based on anything.
Well, this is what I was saying, why you don't go down the rape avenue in the conversation, because I had 2 options, go the court way or go the rape way. So I went the court way, and you said, no, I think you should go the rape way.
Yeah.
And then I showed you what that would be.
Yeah.
This reminds me, speaking of conversations, we're on our road to demonetization, and if you subscribe to the pod, we are a few subscribers away to getting monetized, and conversations like this will get us quickly demonetized. So we are on our road to demonetization. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I just want to throw out that in the beginning we have Danny's brother Josh watching this whole thing, and before we started, he's like, "Is it okay if I laugh?" And then he didn't laugh once.
He took a picture. He took a picture and he did a big yawn.
I forgot he was even here. He was like, "Is it okay if I make noise and laugh?" Didn't even stifle the merest.
That's right.
Didn't stifle the merest sound.
26% of women in the United States have experienced sexual assault.
That's more than 1 in 4.
Yeah.
But assault is not rape.
I mean, but
assault that could be a very broad amount of different things.
Your Honor, I did not rape her. Yeah. I assaulted her.
Oh, yeah, rape is punching. Okay.
Rape is a big commitment, I think, for people. Like,
sure.
To go from assault can be a lot of things. Assault could be like you touch somebody inappropriately,
or even if you jerk off in front of them, that's assault.
Right, that is.
You don't even touch
them. But I don't think. I think there's a big jump from that to rape. I don't think 1 in 4 women have been raped. I don't think that statistic is true.
No way to know anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. And that statistic that's hard, cemented stats. People on this podcast didn't just make it up and say it out loud.
But then it is unusual for me to think that people who were raped were then multiply raped by other people, unless they hang out in rapey places.
I mean, a lot of this stuff, woman's walking home, guy grabs her, throws her into the...
Tim, why are you conjuring rape scenarios?
I'm just talking about...
People know what fucking rape is. What are you doing?
I'm just talking about SVU, yo.
What the hell kind of authority do you think you are on this topic? This is fucking beyond me.
Well, I've watched about 300 episodes of SVU with you.
This is absurd. Tim's an authority now.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that women are out here. They're dressed to the nines, not expecting anything to happen. Myka, go on.
No, stop. The point is, Danny, you think that you should have a topic of conversation on any conversation.
No, I was saying you don't go the rape avenue, and I think I demonstrated why. You go to the court if you have conversational material about court or about rape, you never go rape.
Okay. All right. I got another one.
But you said, I wanted to hear about the rape. You should have gone down the rape avenue.
Yeah, but I was kidding.
Oh.
So I was at the Creationist Museum, and my wife wouldn't stop crying because of her rape. Do you guys have anything for that?
Yeah. You know what I think? I think we should change the subject.
Okay. Well, now it's time to speak ill of the dead.
All right.
You ready to speak ill of the dead?
I didn't come up with someone, but Danny has someone good.
Danny, you got to speak ill of the dead.
Do you have that many people that are dead that you speak ill of all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to go first if you have a good one?
You go first.
Because mine is kind of not very good. I'm going to speak ill of Mike Edwards from the Electric Light Orchestra. At 62 years old, the cellist and founding member of the Electric Light Orchestra died when a large bale of hay rolled down a hill and hit his van.
When was that?
It's September 3rd, 2010. Mike Edwards, the fuck are you driving around all this hay for, you dumbass bitch? I hope that the devil's got one of those big cellist bows and he's jamming you in the ass with it in hell.
Do you think right before he died, someone was like, "Hey, look!
Yeah, probably.
Hey, look! Hey, watch out!"
Hey.
That's funny. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Out.
So, anyways, I hope
just
you're
saw
in hell
Yellow
getting.
in concert.
Yeah.
I just did their last tour.
ELO did?
Yeah, it was pretty
Damn.
good.
Well,
Was everyone there?
Apparently not.
No.
Okay.
I hope you're in hell getting butt fucked by Mr. Red Guy.
When you were there, I hope you said, "Hey." That's pretty good. I'm going to milk that for a little while.
That was good, too, yeah. Oh, milk it.
I didn't know you could just pick anyone who's dead. I thought you had to know them or something.
No, I didn't.
No,
I said someone you know or someone famous.
okay.
We've done all the people we
But that
know.
guy's, that's questionable if he's famous. But anyway, Lucian Hold from the comic strip. You remember Lucian Hold? Who was the booker of the comic strip?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He hated me. And I got into the comic strip by this guy, Richie Tinkin, who was one of the two owners of the comic strip. And I did not know that I had sidestepped Lucian, who was the guy you're supposed to go through. So Lucian always hated me, and I always tried to win him over, and it never worked. And the more I would try, the worse it would get. So, like, they used to have these little booths at the comic strip across from the bar where the comics would hang out. And there was a spot where Lucian would always sit. And then I realized one day I was sitting in his spot, and he walked over, and I go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm sitting in your spot." And he goes, "We don't have spots here for the seating." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I was just trying to be respectful. I'm sorry." And he goes, "I can't stand when people over-apologize. It's disgusting to apologize so much." And then I was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I was like, "Oh, no, I did it again," So, like, that was one time. And then I'm like, "Okay, I know what I'm going to do." I got a job for WSNR Chicago. They were doing a remote show on comedy. And I was like, I'm going to get an interview with Lucian, and that'll solidify things. I'll get him on this show, because he was excited about it. So I said to the producer, "Can I interview the booker from the comic strip? He's been there forever." And they said, "Okay, fine. That sounds interesting." So I do an interview with Lucian, and I give it to the producers, and they're like, "Okay, it's going to air tonight at 9 p.m. So I told Lucian, "Yeah, it's going to air tonight at 9 p.m. And he's like, "Okay." And then I come in the comic strip. I never listened. I come in the comic strip the next day, and he comes over with his arms folded, all angry. He goes, "So, I sat by the radio last night listening to the program, and I wasn't on it." I'm like, "You weren't?" He says, "No, I wasn't. So I wound up listening to the whole show, waiting for my segment, and it never aired." So I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I thought it was going to be on it." And he was so mad. He already hated me. Then I contacted the producer. They're like, "Oh, yeah, we cut him. He was boring." So I'm like, "What?" So anyway, then Lucian gets sick, and he winds up in the hospital. And I thought, okay, well, this is my opportunity to do something nice and win over Lucian. And I didn't know anything about politics. And George W. Bush was the president. And I just really didn't understand. It was even like early into the presidency. I didn't understand that people hated him. And I just went to like CVS or whatever and looked for a get well card, and there was one with the president on the cover. And it said, "George W. Bush, the President of the United States, wishes you a speedy recovery." I'm like, "All right, I'll take that one." So I wrote him
that's funny.
I wrote him a note.
Funny is a get well card.
And I brought it to the hospital. I'm like, "Oh, that's going above and beyond. I'm going to bring it to the hospital." And they said, "Oh, you can't bring it into his room, but we'll give it to him." And he comes back from the hospital, and like he's just avoiding me, and people are like, "Dude, why would you do that? Why would I do what? They're like, Lucian is like a big liberal and like he hates George W. Bush with a passion, and he's sick in the hospital, and you bring him George W. Bush to the hospital room? And I was like, no, I was just trying to like get well. They're like, he doesn't even want to see you right now. Like everything I ever did.
And Lucian was gay, right?
I don't know. I don't know that he was gay. He wasn't gay.
What's your point, Tim?
Oh, I was gonna say that I wish he was in hell, fucking the devil as a lady.
No, he wasn't gay.
Oh,
yeah.
Then who am I thinking of that was gay?
No, but he did. I didn't know this. Also, he would like get comics to go to church with him, and then they would get more stage time. Oh my God! But I didn't know he was a church guy. And then like one time, he was in watching my set, and I used to have a joke about Jesus where I'd be like, I wonder if Jesus ever, for a minute, saw the irony that it was good carpentry that killed him, and like he must have been hanging there for a second, being like, it is really well made, And then, like, Lucian walked out of the room.
This man should not have run a comedy club. Yeah. What a piece of shit.
And then I get off stage, and he comes with his arms folded, and he goes, if you're going to continue to speak ill of Jesus Christ, then I will advise you to find a different stage to do it on.
Wow.
And I was like, the one time, like, I thought he was going to come in and, like, and I like have a good set, but like he just walks out. Oh man,
that guy was a total fucktard. Anyway,
I just could not win over Lucian.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's my one for that.
No, I'm glad he's rotting in hell.
Yeah, you're in hell now, Lucian. Yeah. Oh, where's your boy Jesus now, brother? Because you're in hell getting butt fucked by the damn devil.
I once auditioned for the comic strip, and they do those like face to face. He would give you like a response afterwards, and he like sat right on me and spat in my face, like actual saliva coming out. Where he's like, "You're too harsh to be a female comic." I was like, "What the fuck? Like, just fucking crawl into a grave already, old man." Turns out he was right, but you died first, bitch.
Yeah,
he was right with me too. The last thing he ever said to me is like, "You will never be a successful comedian."
But he was spitting a lot, Myka?
Yeah.
Well, I hope the devil's not spitting into your ass before he fucks you, you piece of shit.
Good point, Tim.
You're welcome.
All right.
I don't have any Lucian stories, or I'd throw them in there, but...
He also said, we have enough straight white guys. I said, would it help if I went gay? And he didn't laugh at that either.
Damn. God, just fucking strikeout after strikeout. I also want it to be known that Danny's been getting phone call after phone call and hasn't answered one of them, Myka. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. You're probably
missing. I'm being respectful to the show.
You're probably missing a lot of great conservative Jewish programs where you could make $500.
Well, I was just like, if I'm going to try and get her a $500 gig and she's not going to pick up the phone, that could have saved Tim for another month.
Myka don't pick up the phone for anything less than 4 figures, my man.
You could have fed Tim on that money for a whole month. For $500 a month, you can keep Tim alive.
That's true. That's true.
Will you do me a favor, swat the flies off his face?
And if you want to help keep Tim alive, go to patreon.com/greathang. And you too, for only cents a day, can keep me alive. This has been great, Danny. This has been a great episode.
Well,
thank you very much for being on.
I love this show. I'm really happy to be on it. You guys are terrific. And just don't take any more advice from Tim Dillon. Probably not from me either, but definitely not from him at this point.
No, we listen to all fat comics.
Yes. Obviously. I have a podcast too. I'll plug it. It's called We Think It's Funny with me and Mark Schiff.
What the fuck? We had plugs already.
I thought that at the end of shows people plug stuff.
That was the best acting I've seen Tim do.
That was pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Wait, we'll go and say it again. I'm sorry.
It's called We Think It's Funny, and this special is called Reconquistador on Amazon, so check that out.
Yeah, nice. Watch him. Danny's very, very funny, so check it out.
Check it out. And with that, we have to get to our final segment.
Sign-offs.
Signing off, it is I, the greatest man to have ever lived. A dude who goes out in the world and gets some big old pops. Old Big Pop himself, Timothy Grady McLaughlin II. Your Patreon dad at patreon.com/greathang. Your free feed best friend.
Tim, you have to say your name.
I did. I already said it.
He said it.
I'm fucking losing my mind. And signing off, it is I, the Lizard Queen. A woman with absolutely no emotions, no ability to keep a friend. She did tell me in
a moment of vulnerability, in a rare moment of vulnerability, she told me that she has a hard time connecting with people and a hard time making friends. And I think it's because she was a former fat person. Myka was.
Don't. Don't
Was she
believe it coming
formerly
from
a big
his. I wasn't
fat
fat
person?
like
She
him.
was
Don't-
fat though. She was.
Don't say it. Don't.
she
When
was
you
legit-
say it,
she
people
was
are.
That's why she has this animosity towards fat people. That's
Oh,
a
I
little
hate
bit
them.
more than.
Wait,
than
when
the
you
average
say it
person.
though, people think I was as fat as you, and that is not the case.
She escaped the fat world. That is true. She was a fat.
I was not.
She's a former fat. Like she knows she has an imposter syndrome being a non-fat in the world.
I've been not fat for so long,
I know, but
Danny.
it's
That
in your brain. It's mentally etched in your brain forever. You'll never not feel fat.
well, I could say the same about you.
Give him a poke. All right, start over, Mike.
It
Formerly
is
fat,
I-
formerly fat.
Former fatty, a woman blinking directly into the sun. A woman who will absolutely not work a second harder or longer than she has to, who will just coast on talent right into the mediocrity zone.
She is talented, though. She's very, very talented.
A woman who is still in the room and can hear you talking.
I'm telling you, Tim, like, it is.
Oh, I know. I've
Yeah.
hitched my wagon to her, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you're talented too, but you're not Myka level talented.
No, God, no.
But if you weren't with Myka, you'd probably get a lot more respect because there'd be no comparison.
No.
On the other hand,
Wow, that's brutal.
on the
Tim.
other hand,
I didn't get respect before.
no, he should get respect. He is legitimately very funny. It's just that Myka has such a higher stature that he's compared to you because he's associated with you. On the other hand, I do think it's a nice thing that you guys are together because it seems like you're genuinely happy.
Signing off.
And
Yeah, you got to say
is
signing
I.
off. You gotta say
all
signing
right, I
off.
ruined the whole show at the end.
No, say signing off.
Tim's girlfriend, Toey's mom, and your friend and podcast host, Micah Fox.
Thank you.
And I
Danny, you got to say signing off and do a sign off.
I love you guys. Goodbye.
No, you have to say signing off.
Is this real?
Yes.
Okay, signing off.
Thank you. All right.
Danny Lobell signing off. Is that
All
what I have to
right.
say?
Thanks. And have a
Yes.
great rest of the day.
Oh, yeah. And have a great rest of the day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.